Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about something that's really important, autism. Autism is a spectrum condition that affects individuals differently. It can be difficult to figure out if you're on the spectrum or not, which is why I've come up with 25 questions across 7 categories of common autistic experiences to help you determine whether you resonate with these experiences or not. Let's get started with the first category. Feeling different. Have you always felt different to your peers? Do you worry about not being believed when you tell others about yourself? If you feel like a bit of an outsider even when you're part of a group, or you worry about not being believed when you tell others about yourself, you might be on the spectrum. Routine. Do you find yourself adopting different mannerisms when you're home alone? Do you have gaps in your skill set? Do you like to be prepared and dislike any last-minute changes? Are your routines sometimes seen as extreme or odd by others? If you find comfort in adopting certain behaviors when alone, have gaps in your skill set, like to be prepared, and dislike any last-minute changes, or if your routines are seen as extreme or odd by others, you might be on the spectrum. Communication. Do you like to focus on one thing at a time? Do you go through cycles of hyperproductivity and then burnout? Do you struggle to hold down jobs, friends, or relationships? If you prefer to focus on one thing at a time, go through cycles of hyperproductivity and burnout, or struggle to hold down jobs, friends, or relationships, you might be on the spectrum. Sensory. Do you have trouble expressing what you really mean, especially under stress? Are there some common types of communication that you find extremely difficult or uncomfortable? Are you sometimes very gullible? If you have trouble expressing what you really mean, find some communication types extremely difficult, or are sometimes very gullible, you might be on the spectrum. Attention. Do you often wish people would just say what they mean? Do you often notice things that others don't? Do you have uncommon interests or passions? If you wish people would just say what they mean, often notice things that others don't, or have uncommon interests or passions, you might be on the spectrum. Social. Do you find that dealing with the outside world can be difficult and stressful? Do you often find yourself overanalyzing situations before and after trying to sort them out? Do you feel like it's your job to fit in order to find friends? If dealing with the outside world is difficult and stressful, you often overanalyze situations, or feel like it's your job to fit in, you might be on the spectrum. Emotional. Do you often feel overwhelmed by other people's emotions? Are you often surprised when people tell you what they're thinking and feeling? Have you been periodically labeled with depression or anxiety? If you often feel overwhelmed by other people's emotions, are often surprised when people tell you what they're thinking and feeling, or have been periodically labeled with depression or anxiety, you might be on the spectrum. Remember that autism is a spectrum condition and affects individuals differently, so meeting other people on the spectrum can be helpful in understanding your own experiences. If you think you might be on the spectrum, seeking a diagnosis from a qualified professional can be beneficial. But please don't use this video to diagnose someone else in your life. It's all about the inner experiences that autistic people share that only you can know about. So, it's important to focus on your own experiences and not try to diagnose others. A diagnosis can provide you with support and resources to help you navigate your experiences. However, it's important to note that meeting other people on the spectrum is probably the best way to learn about autism. They can offer you invaluable insights and tips on how to navigate various situations. Figuring out whether you're on the spectrum or not can be a challenging process, but the questions we've discussed can provide you with some valuable information. If you resonate strongly with some of the experiences we've mentioned, it might be helpful to take the possibility that you might be on the spectrum seriously. Remember that there's nothing wrong with being on the spectrum. Many individuals on the spectrum have unique strengths and talents that they can use to their advantage. That's it for today's video. I hope you found these questions helpful. If you think you might be on the spectrum, don't hesitate to seek help and support. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.